guys, how are you?
Hi Novia, good, thanks. And you?
Good too, but a bit in hurry. My course start in 10 minutes.
Oh, what course do you have now?
Pragmatic.
Pragmatics?
Pragmatics? What's that about?
Well, it is a really interesting course, but I have only got 10 minutes to explain basically. Pragmatic is the study speaker meaning as distinct from words or sentence meaning.
I don't understand.
Same. Can you say it in easier words again?
No worries, I had travels as well at the beginning. So pragmatic is the study of the relationship between words and user of the word. So, for example, I have got a new car and now I have a specific picture of the car and you have a different one in your mind. So it is about the interpretation of the words and the utterance and about trying to read what people mean by utterance.
Okay. Now I've got an idea.
Anyway, Novia, you still have time to give me a quick overview about that as?
Well, yes, sure. First, our pragmatic is the study of speaker meaning. That means it is concerned with the interpretation of the speaker meaning by the listener. So, for example, if someone asks, "May I have a glass of water?" the listener interprets that the speaker is thirsty.
Oh, I've never thought about it from that perspective. What is the second dimension?
The second dimension is the study of contextual meaning. So, it is about the interpretation of what people exactly mean in a specific context and how the context influences what they say. For example, you are at my place and I ask you if you could bring me a glass of water. So the utterance are not fitting the context because usually I would offer you something to drink at my place and not the other way around. So you can see how the context influences meaning.
I'm not quite sure if I got that right. Could you give me an additional example?
No problem. Think about the beginning of a conversation. The first person asks, "Hi, how are you?" And the second person answers, "With a lovely weather today." So you can see it is grammatically correct, but it doesn't fit the context and the situation.
Now I got it.
And do you want to know about the third dimension?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Not at all. It is a really good practice for me. The third dimension is the study of how markets communicate in a set, which means that you as a listener have to investigate the invisible meaning.
What do you mean by invisible meaning?
Maybe it is easier to understand if I give you an example. If someone asks you, "Please close the door," the visible meaning of the person is freezing or that is too noisy outside depending on the situation.
For example, if I hear noises outside during the utterance, please close the door. The invisible meaning is not being spoken is that it is too noisy.
Yeah, exactly. And the last dimension is the study of the expression of relative distance. So the physical and social closeness determines how much need to be said. And example physical closeness would be take this. So only people close to the speaker know what this refers to, and social closeness can be found between friends. An example would be if I tell you we had fun on the weekend, you would know that it was last weekend and that you know which friend of mine had a baby.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense. It seems to be very complex topic.
Yes, it seems to be a very complex topic. Next discussion is about speech act. Speech act theory began as a philosophical investigation of the power of words in language. The two philosophers whose names are associated with speech act are John Austin and John Searle. So, what is a speech act? Speech act is an action performed in saying something. We perform speech act when we offer an apology, greeting, request, complaint, invitation, compliment, or refusal. Searle's 5 categories of speech act are representative, directive, commissive, expressive, and declarations. We'll go over them one by one. The first one is representative. Representative are acts which the words state what the speaker believes to be the case, such as describing, claiming, insisting, and predicting. For example, it's rainy outside. The second one is directive. Directive are acts that are aimed at making the hearer do something, such as commanding, requesting, inviting, forbidding, or suggesting. For example, open the door. The third one is commissive. Commissive includes acts in which the words commit to the speaker for future actions, such as promising, offering, threatening, refusing, vowing, and volunteering. For example, I will be back. The fourth one is expressive. Expressive acts is used to express the psychological state in sincerity condition about a state of affair and specified in the prepositional content such as welcoming, praising, blaming. For example, good job. The fifth one is declarations. Declarations are kinds of speech acts with words by their very utterance, such as I bet, I declare, I resign.
We talk about politeness principle, very important concept of face. Describe the public self-image, or in other words, politeness means to know how to be nice, tactful, and modest to other people. Face also means the emotional and social sense of self that everyone has and expect everyone else to recognize, determining the relative social distance between participants in an interaction is also determining their face one.
Now we will learn about cooperative and implicator. So listen carefully, speakers and listeners involved in conversation are generally cooperating with each other. How is the cake? Well, the cake is a cake. An expression like a cake is called totality. You have an additional conveyed meaning which is called implicator. And several more being communicated than it said in order to have a logical conversation and to understand implicator, speakers have to be aware of the cooperative principle, which consists of small magazine. 1. Quantity. Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the bus station? Yes, go straight ahead, turn left, then your path, a wonderful path with beautiful flowers, then you can have some coffee. Oh, and by the way, bus station is on the opposite side. The preceding example is a violation of the maxim of quantity. You have to be as informative as is required and be as informative required. 2. Quality. Sorry that I'm late. I have been waiting in home many hours for you. This example is a violation of the maxim of quality. Only say things which are true, do not say things which you lack evidence. 3. Relevance. Okay, Jasmine, now what are we going to do this night? Thank you, Mr. Alex. I call you back this night. The example is a violation of the maxim of relation, because you have to be relevant. And for the last, number 4 is manner. How are you visit at the house of your parents? It was just nice to visit at the dentist. The presenting example is a violation of the maxim of manner. You have to be perspicuous, be crisp, be orderly, and avoid obscurity and ambiguity.
And that concludes our journey into pragmatics. I hope you've enjoyed learning about it as much as we've enjoyed explaining it. Until next time, take care and thank you.